Welcome back to the second day coverage of the Women's Nationals in King City, Ontario. We're in for the second game of the day where Atlantic Canada are taking on Ontario Heat. This is Manali Patel, and I'll be hosting you through the rest of this game. We had two games this morning as well. Ontario Heat went head-to-head with the Prairies on this ground, and Ontario Fire taking on BC on the ground beside us. Heat coming out on top. They had an easy target, just 60 runs to chase, and they got that quite easily. On the other ground, BC and Ontario Fire went head-to-head, came down to the wire, but BC pulling off a well-calculated win. Today's game, Atlantic Canada won the toss, and they chose to bat, and I think we're going to be in for some fireworks if it's going to be anything like Danny batted yesterday, scoring 107 off just 35 deliveries. I'll have the batters' names for you shortly.
26 and 7.
The two batters in the middle, we've got Sri Janani Ramesh and Danielle Magahi. And looks like the skipper of Ontario Heat, Rhea Misra, is going to start us off with the ball coming in from the pavilion end. She has been an all-round performer with the bat and the ball in all three games that she has played in so far. The first game she played against Ontario Fire, put up a good half century, picked up a few wickets. Same thing this morning, bowled exceptionally well and picked up a handy wicket as well. Coming in with the bat, she scored 14 not out, but so far she has been very cool and calculated with her captaincy, rotated her bowlers well, rotated her batting order very well. She's certainly not let her age define her ability to play. Showed a very good experienced mind. We should be in for a very good game, especially if we can have Danielle get off to a kicker of a start. Into the attack, and what a magnificent first delivery. That's beaten the bat, and Danny just standing there stumped with what she's just faced. An incredible start for this youngster. Cut away with contention. Danny says, if you can beat me the first ball, I'll make sure I beat you on the second. And she smoked that through the covers for 4 runs. Right, after a few field adjustments, we're back. Oh, and well bowled. It's in the gap. Not going to go for 4 this time. There is a fielder out at deep backward point. Just going to be the 1 run. Got a third man, a backward point, a deep backward point. cover, a short extra cover, a mid off, a mid on, a deep mid wicket, and a square leg. Sri Janani Ramesh on strike. See, the level of playing is quite different between Danielle and Ramesh. There's a lot of experience lacking on the other end. So if Ontario Heat can target the right batsman, and that's just chipped over the covers for a single. If the Heat can target the right batters, they can definitely put some pressure on Danny and try and pick up early wickets. It's a breezy afternoon at King City. The sun is shining, clear blue skies. Just the perfect day for cricket. And well bowled, a little short. Shouldn't go for 4 runs. It's just going to be the single. Potentially pitching the ball a little bit fuller would get her to swing the ball a lot more. But that's going to be the end of the over. 6 runs for no loss after 1 over.
Thank you.
Coming in from the road end, Tarisha Bess, a very experienced campaigner with the ball. She bowled well in the first game as well this morning. Not as lucky with the bat, but she's someone who can turn the game around in a matter of moments. And Danny to take strike. 2 fielders outside, deep cover and deep mid wicket. And that's a good start. We'll start off with a dot ball. Smart batting from Danny. She's a little watchful, just making sure what she's going up against. Well bowled again. This is the most watchful we've seen Danny. Normally a very attacking player. Safe to say she broke a few records at the women's nationals level with her 107 for 35 runs. Going for a big shot, not able to get under it. And it looks like we've got an injury. Bess is rolling and grimacing in pain on the pitch.
Where's the lady? Where's the? She's standing up there.
Looks like she might have just taken that ball on the kneecap. Got a few injuries already this tournament. We've still got another 2.5 days to go. But we had mentioned earlier yesterday that 4 days back-to-back games fitness would be tested. She's up, she's walking it off. Tough campaigner, Bess.
Strong Caribbean girl.
I'm being told strong Caribbean girl. Yeah, you're right. She is one tough cookie. Back to the action. Bess has had some treatment and she's looking like she's ready to go. We'll have an update for you on the game next to us, Prairie, British Columbia, shortly as well. That's a short delivery. Well fielded. They're just going to pick up the one run. That's Saleha Maksood in covers. She does well. Oh, and that is going to be a no ball. It's a no ball for height and a free hit. Hit straight down the ground. There isn't a fielder in the deep. And that's going to be 4 runs. That was picked up well by Ramesh, and she picks up an easy 4 runs down the ground.
For 0 after 2.
It's 13 for no loss after 2 overs. And just a quick update for you on the game beside us, British Columbia Prairies. The Prairies struggling. They're 13 for 2 after 1.2 overs. Saxena, she's going to have to fight a lonely battle as she keeps losing wickets at the other end. British Columbia's look strong. Good with the bat, good in the field, good with the ball. Rhea into the attack, and that's going to be a wide, and the keeper also makes a meal of it as they pick up an extra run. It's going to be 2 wides. It's a rare wayward delivery from Rhea Misra. Well bowled, a big swing and a miss. Danny looking where she could steal that single and get on strike. But this is a much more alert side that Atlantic Canada is playing compared to the Prairies they played yesterday. Well fielded. Vandy Maharajan in short extra cover. That's well bowled. She's hitting the deck hard. She's getting some extra bounce. Of course, the sun's been out all day as well. The pitch is a little bit harder. Another swing and a miss, and that's a well bowled delivery. Well bowled again. It's pulled into the leg side. They pick up a quick single.
Danny might try for a single now. Last ball here.
Just speaking with her teammates during lunch, just heard some fantastic things about Rhea Misra. She's young, but they've said she's very cool in the field. She knows her cricket. She's able to move the field around, be aware of her field, her bowlers. It's well bowled, but it's picked up. And that's a massive 6. Just getting under that and swatting it away on the leg side. That's the end of the over at 22 for no loss after 3. Best back into the attack. Starts with a flighted delivery. It's just chipped up in the air and falls short. And Bess a little hesitant to go down to pick up the ball. Played into the leg side. They'll pick up a single. Pulled again into the leg side. They'll pick up another single. If Ontario Heat can get the wicket of Danielle, they're looking to be in a good position, but she is going to be the X factor. Slow delivery. Oh, and that's almost under-edged onto the stumps. Another dot ball. Danny on the other end, just talking to her batting partner to be patient, giving her some good positive talks. Flighted delivery again from Bess. There's a big shout, and the umpire seems disinterested. That's the end of the over. 24 for no loss at the end of 4. See a change in the bowling attack. Rhea Misra taking herself on and bringing on Indomati Gordiel. She's very good with the bat and the ball. It'll just have to be very interesting to see how Danny goes with some of the flighted deliveries today. She might have to bowl a little bit flatter. But we do have two players out in the deep. We've got a deep mid-wicket and a long on. It's a smart field placement from Maria. Again, we are in the power play overs, unfortunately, for another 2 more overs, so she's limited to just the 2 players outside. Then again, we know when Danny hits the ball, if it's meant to go outside, it's definitely not going to matter where your fielders are in the ground. Oh, that's well bowled. A great first ball from Indo to Danny. Danny hasn't moved a muscle since defending that, just getting a gauge of where the ball pitched in relation to her stumps. Slight miss hit from Danny. It is well short of the fielder at mid-off. But she's getting tested today. Well bowled again. A very watchful Danny. Pulled away. It's not going to go far. It's fielded by the extra correction by the mid-wicket fielder. Just a slight misfielder cost them a run. However, we know she hits the ball hard, and anyone fielding in the inner circle, they're going to be a little hesitant getting their hands on that. Flighted this time, trying to entice the batter. And a good over comes to an end. 25 for no loss at the end of 5. Going to see another bowling change coming in from the road end. Amanjeet Virk. She picked up 3 handy wickets for the Heat side this morning. Let's see if she can try and repeat some of that heroics from this morning. She's got a tough batting opponent and Danny on the other side. She's going to have to be on the mark. Just the 1 over left in the power play. Got a fielder at cow corner and deep covers. And that's cut away. It's cut away in the gap. And it's going to be 4 runs. Verk's going to have to work hard on her line and her length. She cannot be short to Danny. That is just asking to be put away. Punched to the fielder offside. It's going to be a dot ball. Oh, short delivery again, and she's lucky to get away with that, Verk. There is a fielder that covers, and she does well to stop that ball. It was traveling. Short again, and this is pulled, and that's a massive 6. Well over the head of the fielder at cow corner, and this unfortunately is going to be an expensive over. Gotta wonder almost whether it would have been better to keep the spinners on. Rhea's gonna have to think about what to do with the road end. They're gonna need someone very accurate bowling to Danny on both ends. Looking to go big again, and that's an edge. Just flew past the keeper, and that's going to be... That's going to be another 4 past the keeper. That was a thick edge, and it would have been very hard for any keeper to get their gloves onto that. Smashed away into the covers. It's just going to be the single this time. That return ball from the boundary has struck Amin on the foot, but she seems fine. It's the end of the over, 40 for no loss after 6. Just to get you guys a quick update for those of you following British Columbia and Prairie going head to head on the ground beside us. Saxena still out in the middle, 35 of 23 for her. And the Prairies are 45 for 2 after 5.2 overs. They seem to have settled out in the middle, the Prairies, after losing 2 early wickets.
Is that Indo?
Indo to continue with the attack from the pavilion end. Slow flighted delivery, and Danny very watchful. Just defending that on the front foot. By the delivery. Danny goes high and up. There's a fielder running in. Vandy tries very hard to get under the ball, but just a little short of her. Good effort from the fielder in the deep. And Danny is off the mark. Indo making sure that she gets all of her fielders in the inner circle for Ramesh on strike. We've seen a few popped up by Ramesh, but no fielder in any catching positions. Flighted again, and this is pulled straight to the fielder, and it might be a run out. Vandy has done an incredible job at mid-on, and Ramesh is run out. She pulled the ball to Vandy Maharajan out at long on, or mid-on, straight to her looking for a single. Danny sends her back, but the throw is too good, and unfortunately she's got to walk back. 7 off of 17 for her. She played a good supporting role to Danny out there, but unfortunately her innings has to come to an end. 41 for 1 after 6.3. The new batter in, Nikki Matthews. She's on strike. She's got 3 deliveries to face from Indo. Unless she can find a way to get off the mark. It's a very different innings from New Brunswick compared to the game that we saw them play against the Prairies yesterday. They were off to a flyer against the Prairies. Danny racing to 107 within 35 deliveries. Just shows you the level that we're talking about between the Prairies and Ontario. Vast differences in terms of development, in terms of cricketing ability. Of course, the girls playing here, they're all trying to earn a spot onto the national side. They've got the Women's Americas qualifiers coming up in September in the United States in September. So there's a lot at stake. Played very awkwardly by Nikki Matthews.
Nikki Matthews down in.
Looking to pull. There's a big shout, and she's given. That's going to be another wicket for Indomati Gordial. And unfortunately for Nikki Matthews, she's got to walk back for a duck. Ontario Heat, they pick up their second wicket, 41 for 2 after 7. Indo, 2 wickets this over. She's still got a delivery in this over. There's a big shout! And this time the umpire says not out. Najiba Samim, she survives. 41 for 2 at the end of 7. Quick update for you on the Prairies British Columbia game. 50 for 2. The Prairies have pulled up their 50 at the end of their 6th over. Divya Saxena betting on 38 of 26. It looks like we're going to have Amanjeet Virk bowl another over. This is a brave decision by Rhea Misra after the number of runs that she went for against Danny. But the good thing is we are out of the power play overs now. She can have a few more players on the boundaries. Be interesting to see how this over goes. She'll certainly need to make sure she pitches up the ball. Very short in her first over.
Who bowling?
I got 41.
41, yeah, correct.
Can someone do some throwdowns? Anybody? Okay, thanks.
What's happening?
There's another ball on my end.
Full delivery. It's driven into the offside. There is a fielder out in the deep. It's just going to be the single. And Virk will be happy to see Danielle off strike. Try and get a couple of wickets on the other end. Roya Samim, she's yet to get off the mark. Faced the one delivery so far. Very wayward delivery, and that's going to be a wide. That's going to be another wide. Just got to keep it together. Aman cannot afford any extras. Well bowled. And that's going to be a dot ball. Slower delivery. There's a big shout by the keeper. Keeper alone. Umpire not interested. Calls for catch it. It's past the fielder at third man. It's not going to run away for 4. They're looking for 2, and they're going to get there quite comfortably at the end. Not the best of throws back. That's going to be runs. It's a very wayward delivery. They're going to pick up at least 3 wides. They do quite comfortably pick up 3 wides. This has been an expensive over for Mummin. This is what I was questioning, whether she was the right choice to give the ball back to. Ontario Heat does have a few injured players. That could potentially be why we've seen Amin bowl 2 overs on the trot. Better delivery. This is ricocheted off the pads of the keeper, and it's going to be a bye. And there we have confirmation of the bye from the umpire. It's been a long over. Still 1 legal delivery to go. And more importantly, you've got the danger batter on strike again. That's the end of the over. 50 for 2 after 8. Indo back into the attack from the pavilion end. Samim on strike, and all the fielders are inside the circle. Looking to play that in the offside. Not able to find a gap. Flighted delivery, and she's popped that up in the air. Falls short of the fielder at square leg. It's a dot ball at the end. It's a very young fielder at square leg. She's just 11 years old. Prakriti Jaiswal, the fielder at square leg, just 11 years old, very young. There's some discussion of possible injury. Danny seems to have pulled a muscle. She is struggling out there. I'd mentioned it yesterday. Fitness will be tested during this tournament. We've got back-to-back games, 4 days in a row, 2 games a day. Of course, we only play 20 over cricket now. Back in the day when we used to play 50 over cricket, we were more used to standing out on the field for 100 overs. Not so much the case anymore. That's cut away in the air. It's going to be in the gap. They pick up 2 runs. Oh, and that's almost chopped on.
I don't know. Let's see if he's gone wrong. Not wrong. Dead ball.
No, correction, not that ball.
I mean, correction, but he did signal to us nothing.
Well bowled.
Oh, come on.
Got another misfield. And they quickly pick a single. Poor fielding by Saleha Maksud. Unfortunately, that's cost them a run and brought Danny on strike. Big shout. Looks like it's going down leg. And that's going to be the end of the over. 52 for 2 at the end of 9 overs. Got a bowling change. Amanjeet Virk has been replaced with Vandana Mahajan. Didn't have nearly the same amount of luck or consistency as she would have hoped for, Vandy, this morning, but she's got another chance to turn things around. That's struck on the pads. Definitely swinging down leg. She swings the ball in very well. Just kind of loses her shape a little bit at the delivery stride when she releases the ball. Oh, and that's pitched very full. Keeper asking the question, but I don't think there was anything on that ball. Well bowled again. Played into the offside. Leah does well on that occasion, getting a high five from her teammate and captain. This is a much better over for the Heat side. Full delivery, played into the offside. This might run away for 4 runs, and it does. Punched into the offside, and there wasn't a fielder out in the deep. And unfortunately, a good over finishes with a boundary. 57 for 2 at the end of the 10th, and we're going to have a quick drinks break. We'll be back with you shortly. And we're back. If you're just joining us, Atlantic Canada is taking on Ontario Heat. Atlantic Canada won. Sorry, pardon me. Yes, they did actually. They did win the toss and they chose to bat. And 53 for 2 is the score at the end of the 10th. 57 for 2 at the end of the 10th over. Indo's going to continue and she's going to bowl herself out. She's about to come in for her 4th over and she's bowled phenomenally well. 3 overs, just the 5 runs coming off of it, and she's picked up a wicket. Unlucky on a couple of occasions. Ball was popped up, just not able to grab the catches. The fielders falling a little short of them. But she's done very well with the ball. Danny on strike, and we've got three fielders out in the deep on the leg side. Deep mid wicket, cow corner, and long on.
Put on a black shirt when you feel. But you was out of the way.
Our match referee was just standing in front of our tent, and Danny had to ask him to move. He's got a white shirt on, unfortunately. Arnold just justifying them not anywhere close to that side screen. And that's pulled away. There is a fielder there. It's just going to be the 1 run. Arnold, you know, some stars do require you to be definitely as far away from the side screen. Oh, and that's just falling short of the bowler. Just chipped in the air. We've seen a few of those off of Indo's bowling. She certainly deserves another wicket. She has bowled very well this afternoon. Tossed up, looking for a single. Not on this occasion.
No ball, no white. The ball is very good.
Oh, that's a fantastic delivery.
Keeper, come on. Edge.
Beats the keeper. No harm done. It's going to be a dot ball. She's got 1 delivery to come in the over. Can she finish her spell with a wicket? Oh, and that's beautifully bowled again, beating the batsman again. That's going to be the end of the over. 58 for 2 at the end of 11. Vandy back into the attack. Just making sure that we've got fielders in the right place. Danny's on strike. Got a fielder at deep extra cover. Cow corner and long on. Slashed up in the air. And the fielder at point just not reacting as quickly as she should have. That goes down as a missed opportunity. They'll pick up a single, but that might be a costly missed opportunity, as that was the very dangerous batter, Danny.
Caught the ball.
Well, ball drifting into the batter. Just a dot ball in the end. Quick update on the British Columbia Prairies game. 75 for 4. And Saxena has reached her half century. Big shout. Umpire says not out. Prairie's doing very well considering they've lost 4 wickets against British Columbia. They're going at 6.72 runs and over. It's a better rate than Ontario Fire was going at this morning when they played British Columbia, and unfortunately that's what cost them the game. Too many dot balls, not nearly as aggressive as they should have been with the bat. Driven into
Run out.
chance of a run out, and that is another wicket. Roya Samim running down to the other end, not seeing that the ball had gone straight to the fielder. And that's going to be the 3rd wicket for Atlantic Canada. The fielder who got the run out will have confirmation for you. Xylene Ortiz, the fielder at point. She did a good job to get a good flat throw in. Roya Samim out for 9 runs off of 24 deliveries. And Atlantic Canada 59 for 3.
Who's the batsman? Okay.
Najiba Samim, the new batter in. Wonder if they're related, the two Samims. Being told they are sisters. And I hear there's one more Samim to come. The 3rd sister. It's been a very quiet innings from Danny in comparison to yesterday. She's on 34 off 27. 3 4s and 2 6s. Contrasting innings from the aggressive one that we saw yesterday. Vandy to continue the attack. 2 deliveries to come. Oh, and that's pitched up. There's a big shout. Umpire says not out. Looks like that's going to be the end of the over.
Did I miss a ball? Or there's one more?
No.
59 for 3 at the end of 12. Tarisha Bess into the attack from the pavilion side. Najiba Samim to face her third delivery, still to get off the mark. Flighted delivery. That's hoiked down the ground. She'll pick up a single. Correction, that was Danny on strike, and she'll pick up a single.
Who feel that run of ball?
Xylene.
Huh?
Xylene Ortiz.
Okay.
Oh.
Play and a miss. Half a shout from the keeper. There's definitely no bat on that. 13th over bowling. We're going at 4.86 runs and over. Just going to be short of that 100 mark at this rate. So they might have to start accelerating in the next 2 overs. Atlantic Canada. The good thing for them, though, is that their star performer, Danielle, is out in the middle. Flighted delivery again.
Oh, no, not again.
Potentially another run out this time. Sent back earlier. Hit back straight to the bowler. It's going to be another drop ball. Very good over. A maiden comes to an end. 60 for 3 at the end of 13. Vandana Mahajan into the attack again. Played into the offside by Danny. She'll pick up a single. Ontario Heat's done a very good job getting Danny off the strike. Give her a single early on in the over. Keep her at the other end for the rest of it. She's not been nearly as expensive as she could have been. This is smart cricket from Ontario Heat.
Catch.
Oi, that was played into the offside. Upish. Slight misfield. Just another single. Then again, that brings Danielle back onto the strike. Well bowled. Pick up a single. Very good delivery from Vandy. Be wide. They've been good on the wides, Ontario Heat, this game. Not nearly as many as we've seen in the other games. The other ground, Prairies, British Columbia. Divya Saxena for the Prairies just got out to Amarpal Kaur. She got out for 58 of 48 balls. And she's bowled. A fantastic delivery by Vandy Maharajan, and she's picked up the wicket of Samim. Atlantic Canada losing their fourth wicket, 64 for 4 at 13.4 overs. The new batter in, Ray Blaze. Well, we're being told that according to the new ICC rules, you do need to have a helmet on if you're batting or if you're keeping close to the stumps. That is a new rule. And now we're just getting confirmation whether it's okay to have a helmet without a grill, which Ray unfortunately just has a helmet without a grill. Match referee has allowed it. Vandy to continue the attack. 2 deliveries to come. Well, it's chipped in the air. There's no fielder in the inner circle. It's going to be a dot ball.
How many balls for?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more to go.
Thank you. One more. Thank you.
That's going to be a wide. Right, when we said 1 delivery to go, she's bowled a wide. having discussions about how they don't sell helmets without grills anymore. So either Ray's just not used to wearing a helmet, or she's decided she's going to ditch the grill altogether. Looking to drive that. That's going to be a dot ball to end the over. 64 for 4 at the end of 14.
Was there a wide?
Teresa Bess to continue the attack from the pavilion end. So one more over in her spell. Well bowled. It's going to be a dot ball.
Oh, keep forward. You gotta stop on the top.
Looking to pull that away, not able to connect as well as she'd like. Danny picks up a single. Ray back on strike, yet to get off the mark. Space just the 2 deliveries. At this rate, Atlantic Canada are looking at a projected score of 91 runs, and you'd have to think that's just not going to be enough against this Ontario Heat side. Short delivery, not able to do much with that. Lucky to get away with that too. You'd have to think you'd need at least 140, 150 runs on the board against this Heat side to have a fighting chance. Flight it again, just push back to the bowler. Big shout and given. Ray Blaze, unfortunately, is given out LBW. She walks back for naught. And more importantly, Atlantic Canada, they lose their 5th wicket. 65 for 5 at the end of 15. The new batter in, Dia Trivedi, vice captain of the Atlantic Canada side.
Question number team.
Teresa Best finishes with incredible bowling figures. 4 overs, 10 runs, and 1 wicket to her name. Quick update on the BC Prairies game. 92 for 6 Prairies. They've got 2 new batters out in the middle, and they're collapsing, unfortunately. 5 overs to bat. They didn't finish their 20 overs this morning. It'll be interesting to see if they can bat out their 20 this game as well. British Columbia, they're showing that they are a side to reckon with, especially after handing Ontario Fire their second loss of the series.
Bowler, number 11, Aman coming again.
Amanjeet Virk back into the attack.
Thank you, Vid.
This is going to be an interesting over. She'll have to be on the mark. She's got Danny on strike. She's bowled an expensive first spell. 2 overs, 23 runs for no wickets. You'd have to wonder whether the captain, Rhea Misra, has any other bowling options or not. That's slapped across to the offside cover fielder. No harm done. It's a dot ball to start.
Taking a single and give the other batsman 5 balls to the batter.
And that's played into the leg side. One-handed effort by the fielder at cow corner. Unfortunately, it's going to run away. We're looking for confirmation whether it was 4 runs or 6. She's signaling 6. It was a fantastic diving effort from Indo at the boundary, almost getting a hand to it. But this is exactly the fear that we had. With Aman back into the attack, the runs were almost guaranteed to come, and we've already seen a 6 on the second ball of this over. 4 legal deliveries to come. 71 for 5, and Danny batting on 44. Moving well across her stumps. She plays that into the leg side, and that's another 4 runs down to cow corner. We see Danny making the movement so early. She's standing at 5th, 6th stump. As a bowler, you have to make the adjustment and go even wider. This may be the over that changes the momentum and swings it to the Atlantic Canadian side. Again, questions about whether there are any other bowlers who could have bowled instead of Aman. I mean, the mark that Danny's standing on, she's well outside of off stump right now. Full toss, and she's going to get the treatment. That's another 4 runs. And 50 up for Danny. She brings up her 50 in style off of 36 deliveries. Mind you, very different from yesterday when she brought up a century in 35 balls. She's about 50 runs shy of that. Nonetheless, it's a half century for her team. Vandy is trying to get the players out on the field, and this is a good call. I still think they need to have the deep mid-wicket fielder go around a little bit.
How much ball?
And more importantly, Aman needs to try and find that wide off stump line. It's going to be 2 runs. It was a much better delivery from her this time. Chip down the ground, and she picks up a single. This is smart batting from Danny. She knows that she wants to be on strike at the beginning of the next over, and she picks up that single at the end of it. 31 for 5 after 16. 4 overs to go, and this is where we know Atlantic Canada and mainly Danny is going to look to accelerate. Rhea Misra back into the attack from the pavilion end. She's got 2 overs to bowl. We're in the 16th over. She's bowling to Danny. Fielders in the deep. We've got deep mid wicket and long on. A deep cover. And just a square leg, just the 3 fielders on the leg side. I'm a little surprised that she's only got the 3 because we know Danny's strong on the leg side. No. And that's picked up, and it's going to be 6 runs. This is exactly the question that I was asking when I said why only 3 fielders on the leg side. That is Danny's hitting curve. She tries to take everything from the offside as well into the leg. Rhea's got to get another player out in the deep on the leg side. Not sure why we have such a strong presence between third man, backward point, covers. I'm not understanding this field placement. Going to the leg side again. It's going to be just a single. There is a fielder out in the deep that's going to cut it off this time. Quick stolen single brings Danny back on strike, and we're really hoping that Rhea can get
Three.
a fielder from the offside into the leg. Potentially a deep square leg, a deep mid wicket, a long on,
So take
and
one of them.
bring in one fielder short on the leg side. This is a strange field on the offside.
Gotta go full and wide.
Move this girl out from here. It's over there.
Full and wide. Come on. No. Lucky.
Back of a length, and Danny not able to connect as well as she'd have liked. Should get a single.
You have 90 total.
91. With the single 91. No one can have the single. Last two balls, you gotta go.
Put a girl at the leg side short. Right here, you gotta put a girl short. Coming.
Put everyone out now.
One delivery to come in the over. You'd hope that they can try and give a single on this last ball to keep Danny off strike.
Go.
The
and
fielders have definitely got to move out a little bit to allow for the single.
pull out the leg side here. Push it on the leg.
And I
forward.
believe they're doing just that. They're dropping back a little bit to allow for that. Still too close though. Oh, and that's a loose delivery. It's going to be a wide. That's well bowled. Not going to get a single on the last delivery. 91 for 5 at the end of 17.
92, right? 92 or 91?
91.
91.
Amin Verk back into the attack. She's in for her final over. She's gone for a lot of runs. 3 overs, 40 runs. This is going to be the test. And that's going to be a dot ball. Danny well across her stumps, trying to heave that into the leg side. Got to try and bowl even wider to get out of the arc of the batter. Looking to come down, and this is going to be a big wide. Might run down to the boundary, and it does. It's going to be 4 wides. Completely missing the mark on this occasion. Amin Verk, she's been very expensive this game. And with that boundary, we're inching closer to that 100 mark. They've passed the original projected score of 91. Looks like they're going to get closer to 112, 115. Danielle, 63 off 42. She's looked good. She's been very patient today, tested with some decent bowling. Looking to get under that ball. There's just going to be a dot ball. Loose delivery. It's going to be another wide, and I think it's going to run down for another 4 runs. And it does. It's going to be another 5 wides. This is one very costly over for Ontario Heat.
Was it no ball or wide?
Right.
Just the 2 illegal deliveries so far. And we've already got 8 runs. Got a feel for skipper Rhea Misra. She is a bowler short. She has no choice but to bowl Aman Burke. And unfortunately, it's just not gone the way she should have hoped. Danny standing well out of her crease, and Sana sees that, moves up to the stumps. And flicked off the pads. That's going to be 4 more runs. It's picked up beautifully off the pads by Danny, and this expensive run unfortunately continues for Aman. And with that, Atlantic Canada have crossed the 100 mark. They're 105 for 5 and still got another 3 legal deliveries to come in the over. Flicked off again. There is a fielder there. It's going to fall just short.
Catch the ball,
She'll get a
girl.
single.
Please.
You'd have to wonder whether the fielder could have taken a catch. She didn't come in. She had lots of time. She chose to stay on the boundary and take it on the bounce.
Score 106.
Seven!
106. They get different. I don't know.
Oh, that's a dot ball. She will be happy with that. Amanjeet Virk with a dot ball.
Give her a single. Come on, girl. Give her a single.
Oh, that's well bowled.
This
They're
Jordan
not going to give them a single, unfortunately. But that's the end of the over. 106 for 5 at the end of 18. Rhea Misra back into the attack for her final over. She's bowled 3 overs for 25 runs. And that's big! That's going to go for a 6 in the parking lot. That is one massive shot picked off her pads.
112, 18.1.
And forget the ground, forget the cones.
11 balls
It's
left.
landed in the car park. Nobody's car is safe out there while Danny's on strike.
Bro, my dad parked like first row. What is he doing? He's gonna get hit. Lids. We got $30,000 on the line. Please bowl on the offside.
Oh, driven down the ground.
One.
It's just going to be the one run. Looking to push the second.
Out.
Oh, there's a fumble. Fumble by the fielder at long on. And they pick up 2, and that's gonna be a costly mistake, bringing Danny back on strike.
Slow one. Try slow one.
These are some big shots by Danny. That's well bowled. There was an edge, and it's been put down by the keeper. That's a tough chance. Well bowled. You have to see the adjustment that Misra made. She bowled it as far wide as she could. She knew Danny was going to get on the inside of the ball, try and heave it into the leg side. She made the adjustment. Unfortunately, keeper not up to the task. Slower ball, picked up. There is a fielder there, and she's gone. That's a fantastic catch by Vandana Maharajan out at long on. And Danny departs for 76 off 49 deliveries. A fantastic knock comes to an end. Most importantly, she's given her team a fighting chance with that knock. Atlantic Canada 114 for 6.
Pardon?
After 18.4.
Oh, one sec.
The new batter in.
Who's the next batsman?
Lima Samim, the third sister of the Samim sisters. Her team on their feet as they clap Danny off the field. A very good innings again from her.
76.
76. Okay. Any chance not to come? Oh, then they cross.
Lima Samim on
The cross is
strike.
You gotta go back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
She's
new
going to
rules.
face her first delivery.
Play with the new rules.
Rhea Misra, she'll be happy to see the wicket of Danny.
Bowling.
And well bowled. Just the one legal delivery to come in the over. You'd have to say now with Danny's wicket, the threat is all but gone. A lot of the tail enders don't have the same sort of batting capacity for Atlantic Canada. Oh, and that was stopped by the batter, Lima Samim. Almost a wide, but not to be. 114 for 6 after 19. Final over of this Atlantic Canada Ontario Heat game. Vandy Maharajan to bowl the final over. She just took a fantastic catch at long on to dismiss Danny, and tell you Ontario Heat will be very relieved with that. Went down the ground. It's going to be a dot ball.
This is only land here. That Divya, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chat with her after to tie her hair higher. See her number. That's going to be a what? Oh, the umpire's hands stay down. Went down leg, and the umpire said, sorry, not a wide.
She must have got cross.
But I've always been taught that everything down leg is.
Driven into the offside. It's going to be a quick single. Got 4 legal deliveries to come. Can they get to 120? Atlantic Canada. You'd have to think 120 is still not going to be enough against this Ontario Heat side, but it's going to give them a fighting chance.
That's not right.
And that's going to be wide. Heaved into the leg side, looking for 2 runs.
Ouch.
It's a good throw. No, just not good enough. And they pick up 2 easy runs.
Two. So under 120.
Last ball, it's heaved into the leg side. They're looking for a single. This might be out. And that's going to be not out. They pick up a single. So at the end of the 20, we get to 119 for 6. Atlantic Canada have done well. At one point, they looked like they were going to struggle to get past 100, but they should be proud of this effort. Top scorer, Danielle McGee. 76 off 49. Not much else that we could say about the rest of the batting. So it was a single-handed effort from her. 21 extras did lend a helping hand, and in terms of the bowling, Rhea Misra, 4 overs, 33 runs, picking up a wicket. Best bowled very well, picking up a wicket, just 10 runs off her 4 overs. Indo also picking up a wicket and just the 6 runs off her 4. Amanjeet Virk, unfortunately, their most expensive bowler, going at 13.7 runs and over, a whopping 55 runs off her 4 overs. And Vandana Mahajan picking the final wicket, 14 off of her 4 overs.
What's the score right now?
The
119.
update for you on the BC Prairies side, the Prairies did manage to bat out their 20 overs this game. 105 for 7 is what they ended up with. We'll be back with you shortly with the chase for this game. Welcome back to the second innings of this very exciting game between Atlantic Canada and Ontario Heat. Atlantic Canada batting first, and they put up 119 for 6 in their 20 overs. Top scorer Danielle McGaughey, 76 of 49, 6 fours and 5 sixes. She carried her team to a decent total of 119. Ontario Heat need 120 to be able to call it a day on a winning note. They did win this morning as well against the Prairies. The two opening batters for Ontario Heat, Saleha Maksood and Ria Misra. We also have another game going on at the moment. British Columbia takes on the Prairies. British Columbia is starting their second innings, 8 for no loss after 1.4 overs. And the Prairies put up 105 for 7. Skipper Divya Saxena for the Prairies getting another half century to her name as she got out for 54 for 47.
Who's the batsman? Number 14 batting?
Rhea Misra.
She face him?
Yeah.
Number 14, right?
Rhea Misra, captain of the Ontario Heat side, to take strike. Just waiting to see who the bowler is going to be. If you're just joining us, we're here on the second day of the Women's Nationals, coming to you live from King City, Ontario. Second day of the game. Pardon me, second game of the day, I should say. We had Ontario Heat taking on the Prairies this morning on this ground. Ontario Fire taking on British Columbia on the ground beside us.
What number?
18.
Ontario Fire is in the bottom of the points table. They've lost 2 games for the 2 that they've played, which is definitely a bit of a shocker. They've got a stacked side, a lot of national players on this side, and unfortunately just not able to get off to a good start that they would have hoped for. The bowler to start things off,
Hello?
Dia Trivedi. She's a vice captain of the side, and she's going to need to be on the mark. It's not a very big total that they're defending. And most importantly, they're going to have to try and get wickets consistently if they've got any chance at this game. She starts off with a wide. Better delivery. It's driven into the offside. It's going to be a dot ball. But a big stride to the pitch of the ball. Rhea Misra, she's very technically correct. Bowled decent until Danny got a hold of some of the bowling. She's a smart cricketer all around, though. Punch into the offside. Again, it's going to be a dot ball. They will need to start realizing at some point, Ontario Heat, that they just don't have the strength in terms of the arms of the fielders. They're more than welcome to steal singles. You're not going to get the flat, quick throws that you would expect from some of the stronger sides in this tournament. It's driven into the leg side. It's going to be another dot ball. Part of that's going to depend on how well Saleha is going to react. She does need to be backing up. She does need to start looking for the singles. That's well bowled. There's a big shout. Looks like it's going to go down leg. decent start for the Atlantic Canadian side. Just the one run coming so far with the wide. That's going to be another wide. Played uppishly into the offside. She'll get off the mark, Misra, but that was not the most convincing of shots. Almost a release shot to get off the mark. The fielders are quite deep in the inner circle. They were singles on various occasions. Just need to hit the ball a little bit softer. Be able to pick out singles here and there. That's going to be the end of the over. 2 for no loss at the end of the first over.
3.
Correction. 3 runs off the first over. Nikki Matthews into the attack for the Atlantic Canadian side. Rhea Misra is back on strike. Just looking at the field, the players are quite deep in the inner circle. Should be looking to drop and run, rotate the strike. Don't really need to take any risks at this point.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Rich. Wait. Come back soon.
Shot.
Slightly suspicious action off that first delivery for Nikki Matthews. Maybe the umpires will have to watch the next delivery. Not quite sure how strict the umpires are going to be at this tournament.
Wide.
Wait.
We'll pick up yet another wide. And this has been the issue with the Atlantic Canadian side. The extras were just flowing so well through the first game, and now again the second game. They lack the consistency in terms of the line and length. We saw a lot of no balls from them in the first game as well. Just can't afford all these extras when you've got a low total on the board. It's going to be another wide. Just the one legal delivery off this over so far. Played into the leg side. That should have been a run. Not sure what the hesitation is. It's also an out of character shot from Rhea Misra to pull the ball all the way from outside off and play it down into the leg side. Looks like that ball had pitched twice. The umpire is not going to call it from the looks of it. Should have been a no ball, having pitched twice, but again, we're not at the angle to tell whether the second bounce was after the crease or not.
It was the reversal.
Gonna pick up a single.
Seven?
Yep. Still one ball left.
Saleha Maksud
No,
off
that's the over.
That's over.
the mark with a single, and that's going to be the end of the over. 8 runs coming off of that over. 8 for no loss after 2.
Shah, what's it there? Shah.
Thea Trivedi back into the attack. That's a low full toss. Saleha Maksud heaves that down the ground. They're going to pick up a single and a one-handed shot at the stumps by Danny. She's pumped up, and she's making sure that her team is pumped up as well. They had a team chat just before they went in to get some energy back in them. Chipping down, and she plays that into the leg side. There is a fielder who's got some fancy footwork out there. They're looking for a second. Rhea Misra is halfway down, and Saleha says no, just one. That should have been an easy 2 runs. This is very poor running. Very poor running from this experienced side. That was an easy 2 runs.
If you opening batsman, you have to run.
It's going to be a wide from Thea Trivedi. Slowish start from the Ontario Heat side. Fortunately, just not looking for the singles and the doubles and not rotating the strike nearly as well as they're expected to. It's played straight to the fielder at point. Slight misfield. They take an easy single at the end of it. That was hit very hard, straight back to the bowler. Unable to catch Adia Trivedi.
11.
It was struck very, very hard, but Rhea survives as a drop catch, and at the end of the over, 10 runs for no loss after 3.
11.
Quick update on the British Columbia Prairie side. British Columbia 30 for 1 after 4.2 overs. They need 76 runs from 94 balls. They're currently going at 6.92 runs an over though, and only need 4.85, so they're cruising along against the Prairies. Nikki Matthews to continue the bowling attack. Coming in for a second over from the road end, and she's going to be bowling to Saleha Maqsood. She's just decided to back away, possibly because the fielders were still chatting away. That's going to be a wide. Comfortably down leg. We're up to 6 wides already in this 3 over innings so far. Ball keeping very low. It's punched to the offside, but you almost have to be very careful that you stay low when you play these shots. Bounce has consistently stayed low in the pavilion end. We're seeing Danny just warm up, roll her arms, possibly a bowling change coming up. It's going to be a dot ball. Thought it might be a wide, but we're not at the best of angles here. The coach of the Heat side just asking Saleha to get a move on things. Let's cut away into the gap on the offside in front of point, and it runs away for 4 runs. A very well placed shot. She didn't overhit it, she just timed it to perfection, and it ran away to the boundary. Oh, that's going to be out. Low, straight, looking to play that into the leg side. Saleha trying to show the umpire that it hit her bat, but unfortunately the finger's gone up. She really shouldn't be having this discussion. She's got to walk back. And that's going to be the end of Saleha Maqsood. 16 for 1 at the end of 3.3. Ontario Heat finally losing their first wicket. Vandy Mahajan out to the middle to join Rhea Misra. This is after the wicket of Saleha Maqsood. She's going to be on strike. And Nikki Matthews, she's going to be high on confidence, having picked up the first wicket for the Atlantic Canada side. That's going to be no ball. It did bounce twice. It's going to be a free hit. Vandy's got the license to go for it.
Come on, Randy. Ah.
She looks to go down the ground. It does go straight up in the air. In the end, she's off the mark and opens her account with a single. Just the one legal delivery to come in the over. 18 for 1 so far for Ontario Heat. They don't keep an eye on the run rate. They might end up in some trouble closer to the end. They need 102 off 97 balls. That was well bowled. 18 for 1 at the end of 4. Danny McGahee into the attack. Performed very well with the bat this first innings. Looking to replicate the same sort of success with the ball. She's the more experienced of bowlers on the side, and that's a great first ball. Another very good delivery. Yorker length just outside the off stump. This is good bowling from Danny. Didn't bowl as well as she'd have liked yesterday in the first game, but she looks to have found the mark this game around. Slow flighted delivery, deceiving the batter, Vandy. Testing everything that Vandy's got. This is a very good contest to watch between the two players. Two very experienced players. Full delivery again. Just getting her bat down, Vandy. Looking for a single. Rhea says, nope, not on this occasion. Chipped into the leg side, and they'll pick up an easy single. That's going to be the end of a very tidy over. 19 runs coming off of it. Sorry, correction. Not 19 runs coming off of it. 19 for 1 at the end of 5. Gonna have a bowling change from the road end. Ray Blaze into the attack, and that is hit beautifully into the leg side. It's gonna be 4 runs down to square leg. Not starting the way she'd have liked, Ray. And Vandy capitalizes on a loose delivery. Looking to pull that again. The ball just completely dying on her. Again, the bounce is just not there on this end of the pitch. They pick up a bye, but that ball certainly died.
Was it a wide or no? Road.
Looking to pull that again. It's going to be a wide. It's going to run away for a couple more runs. They're going to pick up 2 runs off of that. Maria looking to throw her hands at the wide delivery, not able to connect.
Wide again.
A short, wide again. It's pulled away. It's going to run away for another boundary over the square leg fielder. Another loose delivery from Ray, and it costs her a lot of runs. The equation, 90 needed off of 87 balls. Ontario Heat should get there comfortably. Do have a lot of batting to come still. There's really no scoreboard pressure at this point. Ray just looking back to check with the umpire whether there was a wide or not. Umpire's arms stay down. It's going to be a dot ball. Flied it again, flicked off her pads. Vandy picks up a single. Again, looking for the wide, not given, and that's going to be the end of the over. 31 for 1 at the end of 6. Danny back into the attack from the pavilion end. Vandy on strike. It's driven down the ground on the leg side. They pick up a quick single. It's good running from the 2 batters out in the middle. Doing a good job to rotate the strike. They will need to do that. The last thing they want to do is get too many dot balls and get themselves under scoreboard pressure unnecessarily. Full toss, pulled away. That's going to be 4 runs. A very poor delivery from Danny, and Rhea Mistra says thank you very much. An update on the BC Prairies game. British Columbia 37 for 2 after 7.3. They need 69 runs off 74 balls. Umpire's just checking the ball, making sure that it's all right. It might have gone into the gravel in the parking lot. Just the one fielder in the deep at long on. There's a shout, but that ball is well down leg. It's going to be a dot ball. That's going to be a wide. That's going to be runs, and it's going to run down to the boundary for 4 runs. Off the bat, just flicked ever so faintly off the bat of Rhea Misra. 4 welcome runs for Rhea Misra as she improves her strike rate. 11 off 16 for her. 2 boundaries that she's hit. Both of them coming off of this over. Flicked off her pads, and that's played beautifully. It's going to run down for 4 past mid-wicket. What an incredible shot that was. Just waited for it and right off her pads. Danny, unfortunately, going for quite a lot of runs this over. Between the wides and the runs, it's not the over that she would have hoped for. We've still got 2 legal deliveries to come. Sorry, 1 legal delivery to come. Played well into the offside. There is a gap. She's not going to run away to the boundary, but she's going to pick up 2 runs, potentially 3, but Vandy is not interested, and neither of them are interested in turning back. That's going to be the end of the over. 47 runs for 1 at the end of 7. Ray back into the attack. Full flighted delivery. There's a big shout. The umpire says there's some bat on that. The coach of Ontario Heat just yelling out at Vandy just to focus a little bit. Some of the slow flighted bowling is the hardest to face, though. You've got to create all the power by yourself. And that's half tracker. It's picked up into the leg side. She's lucky to get just the 1 run. It should have been 2 runs, but the 2 batters not pushing the first one hard. That's going to be a wide. Well left. Not sure what the two batters are communicating with in that case. That's an easy run, and they both decided against it. This has been very poor rotation of strike from both batters. There again, just no intent in rotating the strike. What they're doing is putting themselves under more pressure than they need to be. They pick up another wide. Well, when the runs aren't coming off the bat, you might as well wait on the wides.
That's like 15 wide.
50.
That's 15 wides. Not on this greedy offense. I see you.
That's going to be the end of the over. 50 up, 50 for one at the end of 8 overs. Roya Samim into the attack. They're going to pick up a single off the first delivery. Two batters out there. Got to look to rotate the strike more often. Not that they're in any kind of scoreboard pressure, just to try and keep tabs on wrapping the game up. We don't know what the forecast is like for the next few days. That's going to be a no ball. And that's hit Rhea Misra on the helmet or shoulder, not quite sure. It's going to be a free hit. And I think the umpires have decided to either give a warning or to...
Physio, please.
Physio.
I think there might be a little bit of blood out there. We're calling for the physio. We'll be back shortly. Back into the action, we had an injury to Rhea Misra off the beamer. I think she took it on the helmet, and there was a small cut from what we've heard. She is back into the action. Cutaway, there is a fielder out in the deep. She's going to pick up a single. We're going to have a guest commentator. I'm joined by Ingleton Liebert, the general manager of Cricket Canada. He's going to come and give us some company and share his thoughts on the tournament, as well as the Americas coming up. That's played again into the offside. Pick up 2 runs. Welcome, Ingle.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. There we go.
Full toss. Let's play down the ground. It's just going to be the single for Vandy. Enjoying your day of cricket?
Yes, going well. Just a bit surprised that it wasn't 4 because it's an unusual field setting, but gave us one only.
It's going to be a wide. There goes the umpire's arms. What are your thoughts on the tournament so far, Ingle?
So far, so good. The only thing that yesterday afternoon got rained out, so it's a bit disappointing that teams have this year, but I'm seeing some improvement from last time that we had the tournament last year. So it's quite fascinating and interesting to see.
Yeah, unfortunate to have the washout yesterday. That was a beautiful shot down the ground by Rhea Misra. Straight down the ground, picking up 4 runs. Yeah, and even the first games on both grounds that got washed out, we had a very good game. The Prairies were taking on the Atlantic Canadian side, and it came down to the wire. They were neck and neck at the end because of Duckworth Lewis. The Prairies were the winners at the end of that contest. You got any predictions?
With 57 for 1, 8.5 overs, I think Ontario Heats are in control of this game, and unless something special happens, they should cruise to the victory.
Predictions for the tournament?
For the tournament, the way it's looking right now, it looks like Ontario Heats and BC will be in the finals, and that's my predictions at this point. In front of me is the manager, who's smiling and happy.
He should be. Ontario Heat's played very well, and British Columbia, they've surprised me with the level of cricket, to be honest.
Yes,
That's pulled away into the leg side, misjudged by the fielder, and it's going to be 4 runs. Sorry to cut you off, Engel.
No, that's fine. That was more important. It was a good shot. Poor fielding, but Ontario will be happy with the result.
Yeah, they've played well both morning yesterday and this afternoon. Just getting back to the level of BC, they have surprised me. They've got some very good players. They've fielded well. They've been on the ball from ball 1 this morning, handing Ontario Fire their second loss. Is that a bit of a disappointment, you'd say?
To me, it's a bit of a surprise, but I wouldn't say disappointing because I'm happy with neutral. But yeah, it's a bit of a surprise. But you know, the good thing is that BC cricket, you can see not just with the women, but all around, there's some improvement. So there's probably some good work going on in BC.
Yeah, the level of cricket has definitely improved, but we're still quite far from where we need to be. We look at the standard of cricket within our country, but we forget that there's such large strides being made by countries outside.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You mentioned something earlier today that when you played was mostly 50 overs and the fitness level don't seem to be the same. So I think maybe although we're playing mostly T20 qualifiers, there should be some 50 over cricket in between.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Back in the day, all of our Americas chant, that's going to be out. No, just keep her taking the bails off for no reason. Yeah, back in the day, even our Americas qualifiers used to be 50 overs. We
Yes.
quite new, or maybe I guess I'm old. I don't know which it is, but when you're out there for 100 overs, your fitness is tested, and a lot of the players now, you're fielding 20, you're barely batting if you're one of the lower order bats, so not nearly as resilient as we used to be to stand in the heat for that long. Not as much concentration, not as much patience. I couldn't agree with you more. It would be amazing to see some 50 over cricket mixed in with this.
Definitely, and it's obviously the ICC's mandate now is T20 cricket to grow the game in the associate countries, but I think countries like Canada need to play some 50 overs, and I would like to see that. Even if not all the provinces want to play, but at least a couple of them should play. Ontario, BC, and the smaller ones can develop with the 20 over, but then eventually play some 50 over cricket.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. And I do feel like Ontario and BC might be at that level. Doesn't have to start with 50. They could start with some 40 over cricket, maybe a year, 2 years of that, and then work into the 50 over.
Pleasing thing in this tournament is the number of young players that are coming through. So a bunch of under 19s, and it bodes well for the development of the game, the growth, and also for Canada who want to get into the under 19 at some time.
Yeah, we've got quite a few young'uns. We've actually got we've got a couple 11-year-olds in the Ontario Fire side, and Rhea Misra, another example of a junior. She's played well above her years in this tournament so far. But we are a little bit behind with our under 19 development. The U.S., our counterparts, they've represented the Americas region in the first ever under 19 World Cup. We're hoping that we could be there by the second or third.
Most likely by the third, because I think the cycle for the second one has already started, so we have to aim for the third one for sure.
There's definitely hope that we can get there now that we're seeing the numbers grow, potentially increasing the number of grassroots programs. I know in Ontario we've worked with schools. We've got some smaller academies that work in schools. I'm not sure if that's the same initiative out of province.
Yeah, the other provinces are doing it as well. Especially Alberta, there's a big push to go into the schools, and we're going to start that. BC have a few, and I think they're going to start some more. I was speaking to Ray, and I think New Brunswick is doing some good work as well in the developing the young players. She said there's probably over 100 people that she's got playing now, so that's a big stride for New Brunswick.
That's fantastic. Now, is the Cricket Canada Kids program still alive?
It is still alive, going into the schools. Actually, what we had, I think we had on the ICC associate countries, we have the highest number of participants in the schools program. And it's very vibrant in the Brampton area, Alberta area, and Edmonton, that is. So we just need to get it in other provinces as much as well.
If we were to get a school signed on to the Cricket Canada Kids program, how does that work? If we were to get a school or schools signed up onto the Cricket Canada Kids program, how would they work? Because I'm for me, for example, we are starting to go out into schools in Kitchener, where I live, and Kitchener, Ontario is still developing in terms of the sport. But we've been requested. That's played beautifully into the leg side. She's just going to pick up the single, but the runs are flowing at a steady rate for Ontario Heat. So we've had quite a lot of requests from schools in the Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge area, and we partnered with 3 schools this year, but they're asking for more so that they can have competitions in between schools.
Oh, okay. I think one of the things, we still have a Cricket Canada Kids site where they can sign up, and then we can assign schools. In fact, we've been having some discussions with the schools in the Brampton area who are planning to have a women's tournament in September.
That's
So
amazing.
that's something to look forward to. There was, I know, there was actually indoor this season. There was the men and also women. So now they want to have an outdoor season because they think September is the best time to play when there's not a lot of activity going on.
That sounds incredible to be able to have school tournament for girls. It shows that we've got the grassroots development happening, and hopefully as the years go on we'll have a wide enough base fueling the top players. And not just that, but we need competition at the top level. You know, we need to show that you have to work for your spot.
To be honest, there's a lot of cricket going on in the schools, but we don't get to capture a lot of it. Toronto, there's the Ontario Cricket Schools Association going into the schools in Ontario. Number of academies going to the schools, and it's just a matter of educating them to capture all that information and get it in one spot, and then getting the players together and having competition. So I think there's so much cricket going on that, as you said, some of them are not sure how to get recognized. So Ontario, the different provinces and Cricket Canada need to get together and make sure this happens.
Standardize it a little more.
Standardize it, correct.
And that's a tough task because we are such a large country and there are so many pockets of cricket all across the country.
And that's the thing, because if say take a country like Bermuda, 60,000 people, it's easy for them to control. But Canada, 40 million, it's a vast country, is not as easy. And you mentioned the US earlier, and what I realized they've done is split it into zones instead of trying to have club cricket. So, but we know in Ontario, for example, the academies are quite protective of their territory, so we have to find a way to get zonal cricket though.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, so when I was in Australia playing there, they had a set number of clubs, and then each club would have different teams in different grades, instead of a million clubs with random teams at random levels, which is kind of the structure that we've ended up with. We've got so many different clubs who might have a team here or there, rather than a standardized number of clubs with various teams at various levels. But again, you know, we've grown so far and so quickly that it's almost harder to backtrack to fix that now, isn't it?
Yes, there's a lot of work has been put in.
Name Shri or Shri?
Shri?
CSAEE. No, number 7. Wait. Number 7. SRI.
Shri Johnny.
What score you got? 80?
Yeah.
Got a bowling change. Shri Janani Ramesh
Shri?
Yeah.
coming in from the road end. Rhea Misra going well. 27 off 31 for her. Cruising along, Ontario Heat. Just need 40 more runs from 54 balls.
Quite easily should be less than 6 and over is 4.4 and over. So I think unless any mishap, there shouldn't be any problems for Ontario to get across the line.
No, should be very easy chase. They've got a lot more batting to come as well. Just a quick update on the ground beside us. BC Prairies. BC have finished the game off. Sorry, correction. They're having drinks. It just looked like they were shaking hands.
Nobody got out.
48 for 3 after 12. They just need 28 runs off 44 balls. Ticking along, BC. No real threat over there for them. So the Americas, the Women's Americas is later this year. Let's hit down the ground. Shouldn't go for 4. It's cut off. The Women's Americas is in September. Men's Americas to follow.
Yes, Women's America is scheduled for 2nd to 11th of September in the US. And then the men's 28th of September to October 8th in Bermuda.
Got a heavy summer. The men's nationals.
Very heavy summer. You've got the men's nationals starting right after this on Monday. And then right after you've got GT20, the under 19 qualifiers from 9th to the 18th of August, and then the women's tournament.
Exactly what you want from a summer, right? Especially when the summer's so short. Just jam pack it with everything you can.
Yeah, I have to miss Caribana this year.
Oh no. That is heartbreaking.
Yeah,
That's
it's,
unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, yeah. And then, yeah, even the ladies' competition was the women's start over the Labor Day weekend.
Yeah. The Big Bash.
Big bash, yeah. There's a lot of cricket.
Got an exciting summer of cricket. Lots of cricket to follow, lots of cricket to come out and support. So the Women's America is coming up. It's in the U.S.
It's in the U.S., yes.
and obviously this tournament is going to play a big role in selections.
This tournament is going to play a role in selections, and then
It's going to
yes,
be
the team will be selected from this. The squad will be selected to train from this tournament and get ready for that tournament, hoping to dethrone the U.S. and win this tournament. That would be the goal.
that sounds like music to my ears, Engel. I don't think we've done that since the last time we qualified.
Was that in 2013, is it?
I think so. That's when we, I guess, our first and only appearance at the World Cup qualifiers.
It's been a long time. But then there was a lull in the development because the women's cricket was stopped and then came back after a few years. So good to see that the ICC brought back the tournament, and it's growing from strength to strength.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the logic was when that happened. When the ICC, we'd just come back from the qualifiers, and the ICC had said, you know what, we're going to scrap this program for now.
Yeah, I still sometimes think about that and wonder what was the plan, but we're past that now, so let's just hope that never happen again. And I don't think it will happen again because women's sports is growing all around, so can't see something like that happening.
Yeah, women's sport has exploded all around the world. Everything from women's soccer. We saw the Lionesses win the Euros last year.
Yeah.
It was terrific coverage and so many spectators. The following behind that game was just incredible. The whole series, and then of course the women's games in cricket have had great viewership, both in person and through broadcast. Speaking of women's cricket, the women's Ashes game is tomorrow. England is in a must-win position.
Yes, the Ashes, yeah. Oh, it's been some fantastic cricket in England. With some of the men's Ashes, then the women's Ashes. And I think that first test was a really good first test for the women. And could have gone either way, but Australia won. And as you said, England must win the next game, right?
Yeah, so if it wasn't for the ICC switching or women's cricket from 4 days to 5 days, we wouldn't have had a result.
You wouldn't have had a result.
So that was the first time that we've been able to witness a women's test match over 5 days, and I mean, there are just so many points given to the test match that whoever wins that has such a heavy hand.
Correct.
And then Australia went on to win the first T20.
Yeah, the second one tomorrow, is it?
No, the second one was a must-win for England, and they won it a couple of days ago, I believe.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't even been following until that. I watched the test match, and I actually, after the fourth day, I thought, well, this is going to draw, and then I realized it was a 5-day match.
You and me both. I was under the impression it was a 4-day match, and then the next morning I checked Cricinfo as I normally do, and I'm like, oh, there's a fifth day.
Yeah. I was actually speaking to a friend and say, oh, this game is drawn, there's no chance of a result.
I was a little disappointed that I didn't realize, or I hadn't followed that it had been switched to 5 days.
Give it a while, where's the batter?
It's been a lot of extras this game. Unfortunately, with the smaller provinces that are here, the bowling has been inconsistent. It shows a lack of experience. It's pulled into the leg side. Danny's coming in. It's going to fall short. We'll pick up a single. And that throw has gone for overthrows, but the two batters seem disinterested at this point.
Yeah, the Ontario is just cruising along, so it's just a matter of time. They're in no hurry. I think the Atlantic provinces are hoping that they can pick up a wicket, and hopefully it would be Rhea, because she looks in good nick, but both of them are batting pretty good in their 30s.
You know, Rhea's been very impressive. She is one of the younger players.
Mhm.
She's captaining the side, and she's marshaled the troops extremely well.
Yeah, from what I know, she plays also in the junior men's cricket. So she's a lot of experience for a young lady, and she's doing very well. And she bowled well actually earlier today.
Yeah, she got a half century yesterday as well in the first game. It's a free hit over the fielder at mid-off, and just pulled back at the boundary. Sorry, I should have said long off. It's gonna be or long off. Apologize. It has been a long day. I'm thankful to have Ingle co-commentating.
Oh, wow. That's the one.
It was high, it was wide. I think almost at the next, she was bowling to the batting strip beside her. It happens. It happens in cricket.
And as you said, the inexperience, just good to see that we have some young ladies playing from that those provinces. So I think it's just gonna only get better for them as they go along. Because I look at, I remember when I first saw Dia play and the improvement that she's made. So hopefully the other players can follow suit. And she's actually represented Canada, which is she's like a role model for them now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're so right. If we didn't have tournaments like this, not only would we not see the improvement, but as we saw with the Ontario Fire side, they were supposed to be one of the stronger sides, and they're at the bottom of the table, and that is most importantly because we've seen cricket improve all around, and a lot of those players are now being challenged and asked to work harder. Sometimes you need to play against better competition to improve.
You do actually, and yeah, just like you, I was expecting Ontario Fire to be the team to be in the finals if any Ontario team, but it looks like it's going to be Ontario Heat. And as you said, Maria's marshaled the troops very well.
No, number 3.
She's got a very cool head. Considering her age, she's very cool, collected, calculated as well. Should have picked up another run. The ball was nowhere close to the fielder. Could have made it 3 runs, but then
Played the
again,
ball.
no need for anything too aggressive at this point. They're just cruising along.
96,
99.
98.
99, 1 run away from that 100 mark, Ontario Heat. So we recently had the AGM. What were your highlights from the AGM?
Well, from the AGM, there were a couple of board changes. We now have a new vice president. Amjad Bajwa is the vice president. Another director is Salman Khan. He's a new director on the board. So a couple of changes there. And we also have Ranjit Chowdhury is now another new director. So a few changes on the board, and looking forward to working with them and building the sport, because cricket is at a point where it's taking off again here for us. Canada just regained the ODI status, and that's important, so we have to build on that momentum.
Yeah, you couldn't be more right. It's amazing to have the ODI status back again, but do you think we might have missed out on the next round of qualifiers
For
the men?
the men, we have the T20 qualifiers for the World Cup in West Indies, so hopefully we will. But we missed out on the World Cup qualifier, as we said, for the 50 overs. But I'm sure that next time around we will be in the next World Cup.
Yeah, it'd be lovely to see another Canadian side in the World Cup. We haven't been there in quite a few years. Nonetheless, the ODI status is back.
And yeah, I think the ODI is back, and looking forward to, and quite hopeful that the team will be in the West Indies next year for the World Cup. T20 World Cup, that is, which has been hosted by the West Indies and USA. USA have an automatic buy into it, so Canada, with one winner between Bermuda, Canada, Argentina, and not Argentina, it's Panama, and the other countries, Cayman Islands. So those 4 countries will battle out for one position, and I can see Canada starting as the favorites.
Yeah, you would assume that we would be one of the favorites. And when approximately is that qualifier?
That's the qualifier in Bermuda, which is from the 28th,
Oh, the one coming up.
the one coming up. Yeah.
How much days?
Who's bowling?
How much days you going for?
Hmm?
How much days you going for?
10.
10 days?
Well fielded.
Number 2.
It's the World Cup qualifiers that recently just, or I should say, still going on in Zimbabwe. It's been quite a cracker with the associate
It has
sides.
been. It has been, and yesterday's game, Netherlands needing to have a better run rate, and they did. They won the game in the required number of overs, and are now through to the World Cup. Everyone thought it was going to be Scotland and Sri Lanka after Scotland beat West Indies, but wow, what a tournament!
What a tournament. Every game has been a high scoring nail biter, and it goes to show that it's time the ICC increases the number of teams in a World Cup.
Yes, I'm totally not in favor. This 10-team World Cup doesn't make sense. I actually would like to see one day, maybe whether it's the T20 format or the 50-over format, I would like to see a similar method to FIFA. FIFA has,
Yep.
increased the number of World Cup teams and even the qualification process.
Yep.
Something similar along those lines. There's improvement it's a different route to the T20 World Cup this time because just the winner of the region goes directly through instead of another
Qualifier. Yeah, it's what FIFA has done is really good, especially because they've noticed that the game's grown for them. But the same things happen with cricket. The game has grown all over the world, and instead of having more teams, said, you know what, we're going to go the other way.
10 teams. It's gone down from 16 to 14, then 12, then 10. So, no, I don't believe that the full members. Well, I don't think it should be an automatic because even teams in the FIFA rankings, top ranking teams, they don't just get in.
Yeah.
So you never look at how the
Not
associates are
while
catching up now.
Yeah,
It gives you an opportunity.
and you don't need to look much further than the West Indies, full member country,
member country.
not going to be at the next World
Yeah.
Cup.
Was it that?
Missed out on the
And they have
T20 World
forcing-
Cup, which West Indies was known for, and now missing out on the 50 over. So shows that some work has to be done.
Shocking stuff to not see the West Indies at the 50 over World Cup. But you know what? This again a reminder for the ICC that cricket has improved all around the world.
It has improved all around, and we just need to see a different method of qualifications and just make it more interesting too, because we want to grow the game. Imagine you have America's, let's like the Gold Cup. So interesting,
Yeah.
right? So you have an America's region qualifiers, a Central qualifiers. All those fans will start to get involved. So
Yeah, and more gameplay.
more gameplay,
They've improved the number of games that associate countries play,
correct?
but still need a lot more gameplay. Playing twice a year, 3 times a year really isn't enough when you compare it to the full members and the amount of exposure that they're getting to a game.
If you look at today I was discussing with one of my friends the Asia Cup that's played, and then now there's Asia Development Cup where the 8 teams are playing.
Yeah.
But in the region of the Americas, unless there's an ICC Americas tournament,
Number
there's
18,
nothing else.
Dia.
Yeah, that's right, just the one tournament.
Yeah.
And I mean, at least the women only have a 20 over qualifier,
20 over
and that
qualifier.
decides you're playing a 20 over qualifier if you win and a 50 over World Cup qualifier.
Correct.
Number 18, Dia.
But it's time that changes, because if you want to qualify 50 over World Cup qualifier, then you should be playing
Should be
50
playing
over.
50 overs.
Yeah. Because now we've seen twice that the US has played the 20 over qualifiers and the 50 over qualifiers because they've won the regionals.
Correct.
It's good running, rotating the strike. Just 12 runs needed, I believe. 12 runs from 29 deliveries.
That should be very easy the way they're playing right now. No, I don't see any problems out there at all. As they sometimes say, there is no demons in the pitch.
Just good, safe, boring cricket.
Yeah, just good, safe cricket. Yeah, they've realized they're in control and nothing but singles are needed. So I would like to see these two take it home and not get us out silly out trying to hit a boundary or something like that.
Yeah, they both played very well. Vandy currently on 42, Rhea on 38.
And Vandy's more of the aggressor. So, but still, she's batted very well actually, and Rhea's doing well in the support role. And not just a support role, because she's 38 from 43, which is pretty good.
Of course, we have to take into account that Vandy is the more experienced of the two. She's played a high level of cricket in India.
You can see the difference, even in the field, her approach to catching and fielding.
Yeah.
You can see the total difference to our players, and having to play with her, and it can only help to give the experience that she brings to the team. It can only help to develop these other younger players.
And she's brought a lot of leadership into the club that she plays for as well. She works with the women, whether it's improving their fielding, their fitness, the game all around. It's a mindset as well, right? She's teaching them what it means to be competitive, which a lot of girls here who've not played competitive cricket, they don't know, they don't understand that part of it.
That's so true. I can see the difference. As I said earlier, the standard of cricket compared to last year's improved vastly. So it's because of the players who are coming from overseas, whether they come here as students and get into the game or not.
Yeah.
You know, they're helping for sure.
That's pulled away. It's going to be 4 runs. It beats a diving Danny out in the outfield, and a solid shot from Maria Misra. So a lot of these more experienced players are students. They'll be qualified to play for Canada. What's the rule currently?
The rule is basically residents in the country for 3 years, and you must be in the country 10 months per year for those 3 years. And the 3 years is counted from a month before the tournament backwards.
And they have to be permanent residents,
No,
or
you don't have to be
just
permanent
living in the
resident,
country?
Just living in the country.
Oh, wow.
So ICC have changed the rule that you don't have to prove that you're permanent resident, just live, that this is your residence, that's all. And that's the winning shot, I think.
That is a full toss pulled away to square leg for 4 runs, and that's going to be the end of the game. Rhea Misra hitting the final runs. She finishes her innings on 47.
Wow.
47 not out. She'll be a little bummed not to get her second half century.
That's what it says there.
But all in all, a very good game. Rhea Misra finishing the game on 47 off 46 balls, 7 fours to her name. Saleha Maqsood 7 off 13, and Vandana Maharajan 43 off 41. 3 boundaries to her name. Just quickly giving you a recap of the game.
Just giving the recap and then we'll go.
Just giving you a quick recap of the game. Atlantic Canada winning the toss, choosing to bat first. It was a bit of a one-person show when Danny out in the middle scored 76 off 49, 6 fours and 5 sixes to her name. Everyone else just single digits, not much to say. Indo and Bess were the pick of the bowlers, followed by Vandy, each picking up a wicket. Rhea Misra going for a few runs, unfortunately, but she also picked up a wicket. And in the second innings, not much can be said for the bowlers, unfortunately. Just the 1 wicket falling. Nikki Matthews picks that up, 11 runs off her 2 overs. It's been a good game and a good day for Ontario Heat. The ground next to us, the Prairies and BC game.
Just finished.
It just finished as well, and BC are 2 wins in 2 games. That's it from us today. Thank you so much, Ingo, for joining us.
It was my pleasure.
Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow on the air.
Send me there and we'll help you as much as you wish.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, everyone. This is Manali Patel signing off for the day. We'll see you tomorrow.